So the whole deal is to find at least 80%. You get at least 80%, somebody that you can train, and because a lot of it is ego. It's like, hey man, I can't find nobody to do it, and I'm passionate about it the way, because if they mess it up, it's my brand, and I gotta be the one to fix it. Well, I mean, that's just part of it. At the end of the day, you need to pick the right people. You pick the right people, which is easier said than done, but if you pick the right people and train them the correct way, okay, and have a process, well then normally you're gonna succeed.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Hustle on Purpose podcast. I'm GT Ikard, and today we have a very special guest, Chance Armour. Chance, how are you doing today?
Man, I'm excellent. About yourself?
I'm great.
Great.
I get to be here with you. This is awesome. I'm excited.
Man. Make me blush.
So I know you a little bit, but everyone out there may not. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, what it is that you do, how you got here, where you grew up. I mean, give us as much as you want to share.
Okay. Well, again, Chance Armour. I'm just a public servant, and I'm grateful to be able to get compensated for being a public servant, and so I'm born and raised in Little Rock, Arkansas. My family's from Lake Village, Arkansas, in Marianna, Arkansas. So I'm born and raised in the city, but I love the country. And so you and I, we worked in New York Life together.
That's right.
We worked in New York Life, and I think we did fairly well, just learning more about the market, and we ventured off, and started providing additional value to people. And so what I've been doing for the past 7 years is providing merchant services to business owners. And
define that a little bit.
Right. So the type of merchant services that I provide is their payment processing, their point of sale, some marketing tools, and with what I do, it's not a job. It's more so a sport. I feel like I'm a professional athlete, because anything that you do, you have to like to do what you do. And so, like I say, for the past 7 years, I've been providing merchant services, payment processing, and so on. And currently today, I have a little bit over 300 plus business owners that use our services.
That's amazing, man.
But I appreciate you. But what I've noticed, GT, is one common issue with every business owner, and that common issue is employee retention. Keeping good employees, and of course that's an issue all over the country. It's employee retention. And so back in 2020. I created a company called Guerrilla Marketing Partners. And what we do with Guerrilla Marketing Partners is we provide target marketing for retail business owners. Because like my retail business owners, the brick and mortar business owners, as they're kind of fading away, you see. But there's still a need for retail business owners.
Absolutely.
You see. So what I saw with a lot of business owners was they were always using the same type of marketing tool, whether it was radio, TV, social media. Those are all great ways to market your business. But the most important people to a retail business owner are the people that are passing by the business. Those people either live or work or go to school in the vicinity of the business. And so it's very important to target those people, And so you've seen sign spinners in the past, they go on the corner, they spin signs, throw signs in the air. That's cool, but you can't read the sign, So you don't really know what's going on. You just see some signs going in the air. You're like, what's going on? So what I designed was a way for the business owner to get a message out, more so like a coupon or a deal or an incentive, and display that message in close proximity to their business, and which will engage with people that are passing by and encourage them to join their database, their CRM. So pretty much, if we got a chicken wing spot, and they need more business, well, we put a marketing partner on the corner, okay, with signs. And those signs, they have a coupon, an incentive on it. It says
it's like a QR code or like a text this number.
There you go. So the sign may read, "When you park," because we don't want them texting and driving. Which
gotta dodge that liability.
But yeah. When you park, text wings to 90407.
Yeah.
To receive a free side along with your purchase. Okay. So if I'm at the light, and I see, an individual with a sign that's encouraging me to text wings to 90407 to receive a free side or a free dessert, whatever it is. Well, if I like wings, I'm going to text that keyword. Right. I may not want the wings today, but I may want the wings tomorrow. So once I text that keyword, and when I say I, the passive hour, if I text that wings to 90407, well, I get a link on my phone. Okay. That link encourages me to put my name, my phone number in there. Once I do that, I get a digital coupon on my phone that I can use in the wing spot to redeem, whatever free deal that they have going on. So on the flip side, the business owner, they have my phone number and my name. So if I choose not to come in today or the next day, well, the business owner, they can still engage with me via SMS, text message, which is a lot more aggressive than email. You see? Yeah. So the whole idea behind that is
and way more aggressive than social media.
Talk to me. So, the whole idea is to create a return on investment for their time and their money. Because like I said, you could do radio, TV back and forth all day. But if you don't, or social media, but if you don't have a way to capture that person's phone number or name or information, then you're really just half-stepping. So that's what we're doing. And the people that I hire for that are all reentry. So either they're getting out, they've just gotten out of prison, or they're homeless. So I'm partnered with Freshly Renewed here in Little Rock, and Salvation Army and QLC. And so what I do is when they have individuals that are getting out of prison or that are transitioning, we provide that individual with transitional employment. Just get them going, and all of this, it started from just providing merchant services. I just see the need, and that's what business is about. Just you just shut up and listen and watch, and you'll find a need. You'll find a need.
Business is founded out of an opportunity or a need. Succeed far more often than businesses founded out of a personal need for income or a desire for that business.
Indeed.
I love kind of hearing that story, because you get in with the merchant services, you're working with all these business owners, and through working with them, you find out, they have this real problem with employee retention. Then you're pairing that with, we have this weird issue of like all these businesses are having issues with employee retention, and we also have all these people without jobs.
Indeed.
So I love hearing that creativity of solving two issues at once and doing it in a way that's profitable and sustainable and benefits everyone. I mean, that's the entrepreneurial dream, right? You're meeting several needs and doing it in a way that's profitable and sustainable.
That's right.
And for the business owners with this marketing, it's really interesting, because it'd be interesting to know some of these analytics compared to social media or just like blanket email campaigns, because you can get fairly targeted with that. Facebook will give you fairly targeted audiences, but let's take your example of the wing spot. and you having your person on the street with the sign and a special deal and the coupon code, that's about as targeted as you can get. You're getting people that pass by that business. The only people that are going to respond are going to be people that like wings or whatever the product is. So these people are able to fill out their CRM, not just by buying a list online of people that live in that area code or whatever. They're building a CRM of people that drive past that business and like wings.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
So
That's right.
Those names are far more valuable to that business than some of those other methods.
That's right.
So I think that's great.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's awesome. This episode of Hustle on Purpose is brought to you by Arkansas Real Estate Buyers. If you have a problematic piece of real estate, we would love to help you. Go to the description, click on the link, schedule a free consultation with me personally, and we'll get you set up. Now let's get back to the show. You're partnered with some companies like Freshly Renewed and all of that to find marketing partners for yourself, people that can do the signs and stuff like that. There's a big need for jobs for those people. Are you finding that there's more people that need jobs than you're able to give them to, or do you need? The point I'm getting to is I have some more organizations similar to that always have people that need jobs.
Oh, wow.
So if you ever need some more avenues for more people to hold signs or whatever, let me know.
Indeed. And, to that point, Freshly Renewed, they always have people, you know, people get out of prison every day, and, everyone doesn't want to hold a sign. Some people they don't want to be around people. They just want to hold a sign and make money and go home, And so the guerrilla marketing aspect was really designed to help the business owner, with marketing. While we're helping the business owner with marketing, we're employing people that may not be able to get a job elsewhere, because we hire anybody. As long as you don't have a level 3 sex offense or a level 4 sex offense, we hire you. So the reason being is because, you can't work around churches, schools, and so on if you have those types of offenses. But, the whole purpose in that was just to help the business owner with marketing. And so for the past 8 months, I've been working on a way to just help the community as far as the employee side of things. And so I partnered with Department of Workforce, became a vendor of Department of Workforce as a supported employment services, providing supported employment services as well as job placement. And so what I do with that is I work as an advocate for disabled individuals. So people that have an intellectual disability or a physical disability, individuals that may have a visual impairment, I help them to find jobs. I help them to find the job that they want to work in. And and the whole idea is to provide integrated employment. An individual that has a disability, they don't need to work in a room full of other individuals that have a disability. The whole idea is to get them integrated in society so that they can, of course, learn new trades. They may be able to earn more money, be more self-sufficient. And so that's the whole idea of providing integrated employment versus sheltered employment. And so with that being said, the business owners all have the same issue, and that's employee retention, keeping employees, all over the country. It's the same issue. And so also, there's a lot of individuals that have disabilities that need work. Okay. And so what I do is I work as an advocate to help them with the application process, help them build resumes, help them with just proper etiquette, on how to prepare for an interview, how to dress for an interview. And then we provide them with job coaching. So if you have a significant disability and, we get you a job, well, you may need support while you're on that job to ensure that you're successful. So if you are working at a job, well, you'll have a job coach that will be there with you to be more so like the mediator between you and the employer to make sure that you're
and
on
you
task.
do that?
We do that as well.
Okay.
Right. And so as a vendor of Arkansas, we had to get certified for supported employment.
Okay.
As a job coach as well, and for job placement. And so we provide those services. And we just got certified about 4 weeks ago. The commissioner signed off on it 4 weeks ago.
That's amazing.
And the very next week, man, we got a contract with a company to help place over 120 individuals.
Wow.
And so that's what
amazing.
so the
Do you have like a time frame on that? Do they make you like do
well,
a certain amount of time?
So the deal is there's a company going out of business.
Okay.
Okay. And the first batch of individuals are being let go June 30th. Okay. And then the second batch sometime in July, then the third batch in August. So as soon as I found out about it, I got on the ball and started contacting individuals that I knew and finding what accommodations different companies can provide to them. And so I've been working on that, and I found the individuals' jobs, several of them jobs. But we don't just find them jobs. We make sure that it's a job that they want.
Yeah. Right.
I don't just say, hey, look, I got a job for you. I find out what kind of work you currently do.
Right.
Okay. Because the individuals that are losing their job, they've been working at the same plant for 15, 20, 30 years.
Right. And they probably have a very narrow skill set, which is a great thing if you can find it somewhere else.
That's right.
Because for the company that needs that person, it's great.
Indeed.
But yeah, it sounds that's where the hard work comes in, right? You got to find the square peg for the square hole.
That's right.
And match them up.
That's right. That's
Because
right.
it's better for everybody that way. It's better for the
That's a
business. It's better
trifecta.
for the employee. Yeah.
That's right.
Right. That's exciting, man. That's really cool. Are you ever able to, because it also seems like you already have this network of 300 plus business owners that are always needing employees as well. Is that, have you merged those two worlds together yet?
I have. But my main thing is providing the best resource for the employees. So, Amazon doesn't currently use my merchant services right now. Coca-Cola doesn't use my merchant services right now. And these companies provide outstanding benefits. Mm-hmm. So, I have several merchants, but most of those merchants don't have the type of structure that these corporations have.
Right.
And so, although some of them do, I also have to be realistic and continue to meet new people, and build new relationships.
Right.
And so, and I don't know if you can, throw out names on here, but Amazon is a great company. I was never a great fan of Amazon outside of just the great stuff you could purchase, but until a couple weeks ago, you see, and Amazon has agreed to hire every visually impaired individual that we bring to them.
That's amazing.
And that says a lot about that company because they make accommodations for them. You see,
and good benefits,
and great benefits, great pay. Compared to what they were being paid before. Right. And so that's my thing is continuing to meet new people. You see, my current clients, merchants with payment processing, the job that they served or what they provided to me was inspiration. They provided me with ideas, and I just used the ideas that were provided to create additional appetites on the menu. How about that? Additional services.
Right. Yeah. Because it's the story just continues from earlier. The parts I liked about it, where it was like, this is where I started. This was my focus, payment processing. It grew into, we can also offer marketing that's specific and targeted for these businesses that I'm working with. And now it just kind of, you add on to it and it expands, right? Now you've got, you're helping these people find great jobs for themselves. You're helping the employers find the employees they need. And then, you never know where it leads. You just keep trying to do the next right thing, right?
That's it.
But you do that, and what ends up happening is you never know when you put the right employees with the right company, and all of a sudden that company likes how well you did that and how professionally you handled it and all of that. And they're like, you know what? Like, I've been so mad about this X, Y, and Z with my payment processing, or our marketing, hasn't been as pointed as we'd like it to be, or, you just never know. You don't do it with that expectation. You just do everything you do with excellence and with character. And you'd just be shocked at where it leads,
That's it.
Because I think back to a handful of years ago when we worked at New York Life together, and it's interesting now, really just a handful of years later, looking back and hearing all this that you've been doing. It's awesome.
Well, I have 5 children at home, so I have no choice. I have no choice.
Yeah.
I have no choice. And like I mentioned, man, it's not a job. I thoroughly love to do what I do. I just started taking off work on Sundays 4 weeks ago. I've never taken off work any day outside of maybe a vacation. We take a vacation, but when it's time to work, it's time to work. When I'm not on vacation, I'm working every day. You see, but that's not good quality of life. You have to take time. You have to allocate time for your family. You have to allocate time. So, business is business. We can all make money. We can all grow businesses. We can all learn different things that we can, help us to progress in life. But, what I've understood, from day one is, my children don't really care about all that.
Right.
They don't care. They just want time. And so, business is very important. And I appreciate the fact that my children, they can see, not only just you could talk all day, but when your children actually see, where it's, because we all start at zero. I started at zero. Okay. And it's a blessing to be able to see my children grow, but it's also a blessing to know that they see me grow as well. And so, I had to start taking off, man, because, we go all the time. And, we look up and the children are steady growing. And, what do we get in this for? We didn't get in this to go all the time. We got in this thing to create something for our families, something for our families,
I found out about myself that it's a blessing and a curse, but I, as a general rule, just truly enjoy working. I like the process. I like meeting new people, having conversations like this. I like starting a business, working really hard to make sure that it's cared for and grows and is on the right track and is going to become something that helps the community and helps people and benefits myself and my family, of course, as well. And my wife has been great at helping me rein that in a bit, because I see it as like we started having young kids, and that was just like fuel on the fire, right? Like now I've got even more motivation to build something for them to look at and be proud of me
That's
for,
right.
or for them to take over potentially one day or whatever. And between my wife and another mentor of mine that helped me see this, is like, he was like, man, your career won't even really start till your kids are teenagers. He was like, take it from me, trust me, spend all the time you can with your kids now, because you'll look back and regret it if you don't. So I'm stuck in that place now of trying to balance it all. Because like I said, I've found that I really enjoy work, and that's a good thing. But it is really easy for me to let it consume all my time and pull me away from my family.
That's right.
And I think that's a common struggle. I think it's a thing that all of us with children and stuff go through. And
Yeah, we
business.
go through it. We all go through it, and but it's like you say, it's a blessing.
It is, yeah, for sure.
It's a good issue to have.
It is, it is, and I have realized now that we're expecting our third child. I'm not up to 5 like you, but everyone tells you it goes fast, and you know that that's true. But when you start actually living it, now that my daughter will turn 5 this year, it's like, how is that even possible? Like, I knew it was going to go fast. I knew it was going fast while it was happening, but I still look up and I'm like, it still went faster than I ever could have thought.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, I'm really trying to be intentional about spending time with them.
Indeed, you have to be intentional. You have to be intentional. Time is rolling.
So you've got a lot of irons in the fire. What else have we missed? I think you've got some real estate, right?
I do. And then again, just rental properties, 2 rental properties.
Yeah. Houses, single family homes?
I do.
Yeah.
Single family homes
Dude.
in Little Rock, Arkansas.
So I just want to stop you. There's no such thing as like just 2. Because I also fall in this trap a little bit. And I'm really good about telling other people to stop, like, being down on themselves about it. Because I'll go to a meeting and there's a guy in there and I know he's got 750 houses, because that's the world that I'm in. I'm in that real estate investing world. So I know the guys in Little Rock that have 3,000 apartments, and guys that have 750 houses and 400 houses. And so it's easy even for me to go into those things, and I'm barely scratching like 100.
Oh, wow.
But I have to check myself and say, you know what? Like, that's an accomplishment. That's a huge achievement. And the plan is for it to grow from there. I'm not where I want to be, but I think we all, especially entrepreneurs, have to do a better job of like celebrating our accomplishments.
Indeed.
So the fact that like you have 2, and that's not even really like the business you're in, is amazing. I mean, that's incredible. Most people never take that jump, because it is scary, and it's a lot more work than most people will tell you that it is.
It is, especially when you try to do it all yourself. And it wasn't until I started, because I started reading a book. It was it's From the Trash Man to the Cash Man by Myron Golden. And it's really just about buying your time back, about buying your time back. And I'm all about passive income, and residual income. And that was the main reason why I got into it. I tried to Airbnb one of them out, and I said, man, I'm just going to go back to the traditional way and just rent it out and be done with it,
The active management that it takes for Airbnbs it makes it really difficult. Because it's all the extra cleanings, it's all the check-in and check-outs, and
there you go.
Makes it really, really tough.
And you can delegate that work, but sometimes it doesn't make sense to delegate.
But then it's even the delegation is work itself, because then like your cleaner's sick, and it's like, well, like I've got another family coming in on Friday from out of town. Like, the house has got to get cleaned.
That's right. Who else gonna do it?
Right. Yeah. It's like, yep. keep a mop in the back of your truck, you know?
Indeed.
But I think that's the only way I learn is by actually just like doing it.
That's right.
So I'm usually encouraging people to find the lowest risk way to get into that as possible. I got fortunate with real estate because I was able to take a job working for a company that was willing to train me from A to Z, everything under the sun that I would need to know. And in return for that, I think I did a good job as an employee for them. But that was a great low risk educational foundational step for me. I could go get a salary, do that job. And, you know, if I worked for them 8 to 12 hours a day and spent some time with my family, there was still several hours of the day that I could work on doing my own thing.
There you go.
And so that's how I started getting those houses of my own. Until it grew to a point where it didn't make sense to keep my job anymore.
Hey, look, and again, but you had a process. You had a process. You didn't just, and that's the thing about it. I see you writing, you know, write it down and make it plain. You know, whatever it is that you want to do, you know, you can want to do it all day, but if you don't write it down, it's probably not going to happen the way you want it to happen. You know, so writing it down, you know, you had a process and you stuck to that process. And now you can use that same process again to do it again, you know? And so that's the benefit of being your own boss.
When you do that process once, you buy your first house, you learn.
That's right.
It's going to be the hardest one. Almost always. Like the first of anything, there's a book called 0 to 1. And it's about like tech startups basically, but it pertains to really anything. That jump over that chasm from 0 to 1 is the biggest incremental leap, right? 1 to 2, drastically easier.
That's right.
100 to 200, easier than 0 to 1.
Indeed.
You get that process and you do it once, you learn the most, you make the most mistakes, it hurts the most, but you get through that and you find that 1 to 2 incrementally easier, 2 to 3 even easier, 3 to 4. It's easy. That's how I started realizing these people have these massive real estate portfolios. And I started realizing, oh, they got there because they learned that process. You refine it, you get it to where it's easier and easier. And then once you get into the business, you start realizing it's not much harder to close on a $40 million apartment complex than it is to close on your primary residence.
That's right. Same process.
I mean, it's
just different numbers.
Right. Like the numbers just change, but like in some ways it gets easier. I mean, the hardest part is coming up with the $40 million or whatever.
You know, same process.
Right. Once you figure out that process. So I'm always telling people just to start A, B, preferably start with a plan and with some low risk educational foundational steps. And then it goes where it goes. You have to find that fine line with a plan. Maybe you'll agree with this. Because I used to, in my planning and setting my goals, I still write all of that down. There's some power. I can't explain it in writing it down.
That's right.
But what I've found is the way I set those goals is drastically different than it used to be. They used to be very concrete like timelines. And what I found is the way my brain works, I was just setting myself up for massive disappointment. And that disappointment would derail me, right? Like let's use a diet, for example. You know, you have this really strict diet because you have this goal for your body or your health. And then you have one Snickers bar and you say, well, I didn't hit the diet 100%, and you just go off the rails and you just start eating tons
more
of
Snicker
ice cream.
bars.
Right. And it's like, in reality, that one Snicker not gonna hurt you unless you let it derail you.
That's right. There you go.
So my goals are much more, maybe forgiving's not the word, but they're a lot more broad. I'm also religious, and so it's kind of like my goals now are I feel like I'm called to go in this direction. I'm going to keep pushing as hard as I physically can in that direction, and going through doors that open up along the way.
That's it. That's it. And that's the philosophy that we all have to adopt, because it's not our job to know how it's going to work. You know, like you said, you know, you have your plan, you write it down, you know what you want to do, okay? And then you just walk in that, you know, every day you look at that plan again and you live as if that plan is already in front of you. And before you know it, somebody's going to hit you upside the head with that 40 million that you need. I mean, that's just how it works.
And if they
man.
don't, it's a protection. It wasn't supposed to happen.
Right, but it's going to be divine timing when it does.
Right.
You know, it's going to be divine timing.
Are you familiar with Bishop T.D. Jakes?
I am.
He's one of my favorites. I have a lot of quotes from him, but one of my favorites is, God doesn't make tables. He's like, and the whole premise is, God doesn't make tables. He gives us trees. You want a table, you got to take what God gave you and build your table.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Because there's this. It's easy for me to fall in that trap of, well, if I was supposed to have it, I'd have it. But there's that fine line of like, God will provide it, and you also have to do your part, right? So if you're sitting there now and you're looking around, you're saying, well, I must not have X because God didn't want me to have it. Make sure that God hasn't given you all of the equipment to go have it.
Talk to me, man.
You know, make sure God hasn't given you the trees to cut down and saw down and shape and screw together into the table that you need.
That's right. That's what life is about, man. And that's how I look at life. It's like a toolbox, having a brand new toolbox full of every tool that you could think of, every tool that you need. Okay. But now, hey, man, it's up to us to learn how to use those tools in that toolbox, because I believe we already have everything we need. Everything we need to get the things that we desire and we want in life, we already have the tools. Now it's up to us to learn how to use those tools. It's up to us to cultivate, you know, those things that we want, and learn how to use those tools that we already have. And so, you know, I don't believe in, you know, us not having what we need. You know, we have everything that we need. Everything. It was already written. You know, I mean, all you could do is mess it up. So, I mean, all you could do is mess it up, man. You know, I'm telling you.
Yeah. There's been so many times where it's like, I mess up and then I realize, all the things that I needed were there the whole time. I just got so lost in like, I fall in this trap all the time where it's like, I think I'm right, or I think my idea is the best because I think about things a lot. And so whenever I have an idea and like I present it to my wife, for instance, by the time I present it to her, I've overthought it quite a bit and I'm already set and like, I've already thought about all the things she could say against it. And I've got like, nope, thought about that. Like, it works better my way or whatever. And, it's something I've been working on as I grow older, because start realizing I don't have it all figured out.
No.
And my plans are flawed quite a bit, actually.
Oh my God. I learned that, man, and my life has changed quite a bit since I learned my way is not the way. You know, you have to take time and get a mentor, you know, somebody that could, and just having a mentor has really just helped me tremendously, you know, and
yeah,
because, you know, I did think that my way was the way, you know, and, you know, you fail and you get back up and you try to do it your way again and you fail. And when you just slow down and just look at, you know, your surroundings, you realize that, you know, you can't blame nobody but yourself. You know, it's your fault. Slow down and do it a different way, you know.
My whole business philosophy for the longest time was like, if I just keep beating my head against the wall, eventually I'll make it through. and that will get you fairly far, actually. But then, you wake up one day and you're like, man, my head hurts from banging it against the wall so much.
Right, and it shows.
And eventually you find a wall that you're not going to get through that way. And you need a team to help you get over it or around it or under it. And it's some people, you may be able to talk about this a lot. One of my fears now is that there's levels to business, right? And each of those levels seems to have it's got its own new hurdles to get over. And what seems to happen to me is everyone finds their limiting threshold. There's certain tiers and their own issues, and people get to a certain issue and that's where they get stuck.
Okay.
And so in my life, I'm like, okay, where are my barriers at the level I'm at now? And are they going to be things that I'm able to overcome, or is this where I get stuck?
Yeah. So what my dilemma has been is, trying to find, and a good friend of mine kind of helped me with this a few weeks ago. All right. But trying to duplicate myself, trying to get 100% of me, 100% of me. I'm trying to find somebody that can do exactly what I do, how I do it, and have the same amount of passion for what I do, you see. And a good friend of mine brought this up to me a few weeks ago. She was like, man, you're not going to find 100% of you.
Would they work for you if you found them?
You're not going to find. I doubt it.
That's the thing,
I doubt it.
Right? Yeah.
So the whole deal is to find at least 80%. You get at least 80%, somebody that you can train, and because a lot of it is ego. It's like, hey man, I can't find nobody to do it, and I'm passionate about it the way, because if they mess it up, it's my brand, and I gotta be the one to fix it. Well, I mean, that's just part of it. At the end of the day, you need to pick the right people. You pick the right people, which is easier said than done. But if you pick the right people and train them the correct way, okay, and have a process, well, then normally you're going to succeed. But my main deal, which yesterday I hired 2 people, okay?
Congrats.
2 people to help me with this, because the job placement and support, I cannot do that by myself. It's impossible
it sounds
to do it by myself. Impossible.
Right.
You can't even halfway do it by yourself,
Right.
So my main thing is creating a team. And the past 7 years, I have been doing this by myself. I have a couple buddies that may help me with this and help me with that, but it's not anything that's consistent. So actually having a structured team, it's almost like peace of mind, because now I know that, hey, look, I've picked the right people, and the people that I'm working with now, we have the same common goals, same common goals at the end of the day, but yeah, that's been my main issue for several years, is just trying to put it together and trust people to help me put it together,
Yeah. And that's one of those common hurdles that's one of those 0 to 1 chasms you have to cross, right? A lot of things are more difficult when it's just you. But some new things show up once you start having other people, right? You start having that overhead increase. A lot of times you start paying people immediately, but their productivity isn't there for a little bit. And that's a hard pill to swallow a lot of times. You start having those issues where you thought it was going to be easy to train somebody, because I've certainly run into this and I've heard it from countless other people, but you don't have the systems and processes yet to make sure that they know everything you need them to know. And what I started realizing is there was a lot more experience and stuff going into play in my decision making than I even realized until I started trying to transpose all that onto an employee.
That's right.
Once, because when I went from 0 to 1 on that side of things, it was a big awakening for me where it's like, oh man, there's a lot more that I need to get out of my head and into your head than we might have time for.
That's right. That's right.
That's a tough jump.
Even just to create, like you say, that process is the main thing. And so, and I just believe in divine timing. Everything just, it work. We don't it's not our job to know how it's going to work, just continue to walk in that path, and it's gonna, the tools are going to be provided. And so, about a month and a half ago, I went to a conference downtown, and it was a artificial intelligence conference, man. And I went to the conference, and my mind was so blown away, I couldn't really register any of it. I was just like, I don't know, I don't understand anything.
Yeah.
But then the next night,
I need some artificial intelligence to understand what's going on.
Talk to me. And so the next day, I just dived into it. And that night I didn't go to sleep. I did not go to sleep.
Yeah.
It blew my mind, the way that people are scaling their businesses now using artificial intelligence and just doing what we're talking about, creating the process. Mm-hmm. So the things that we have in our head, my main issue was creating the correct documents, the correct process, so I can hand it off to the next person. Mm-hmm. Man, look, they got this thing, and I'm sure you've heard of it, but Chat GPT,
Yeah.
And I paid for the version, Chat GPT 4, I believe. But when I say, man, anything that you need, and I share information because that's what it's designed to do, and it helps business owners, and I'm all about, hiring humans to help me or help us to do what we do. But man, this saves so much time. And like I mentioned a few seconds ago, man, buy your time back.
Right.
So if you have a process in your mind, you can go to this system, Chat GT, and it's going to create the process for you. Whatever it is that you need, it's going to shoot it out. You'll have it in less than 3 seconds.
It's the AI stuff is crazy, and the rate at which it's getting crazier is blowing my mind. So my buddy yesterday randomly sent me a link to a Twitch stream, and on this Twitch stream, they had this AI running what looked like a Trump and Biden debate, and it's all AI, and people would type comments, questions, whatever. And this computer generated AI video in real time showing Trump debating Biden on like outrageous topics. I mean, people were just typing like all kinds of outrageous things. And in real time, like it's not only writing script in the speech patterns of each individual, it's doing voice in the tone. Everything sounds just like Trump or Biden.
That's right.
And it's taking video and making it look like it's them. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, what is happening? It is blowing my mind.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
I got it in my phone, man. I have this app. It's all the same platforms, AI, man. But if I want a logo, I can type in create a logo of GT.
Yeah. Right.
Wearing a white tee behind a microphone, hustle on. It's going to create the logo or the whatever, the cartoon, whatever. 3 seconds, I have it. You know, so imagine how much time that saves. Now, of course, you're knocking people's. So people that are graphic designers or people that create grant proposals. Of course, that's hurting them. Okay. But I believe that could be a tool for them. You know, I mean, it helps them to move faster. You know, I mean, so you can
Right.
use it or you can lose it. You know what I mean? So, you know, you don't have to use these tools, but I choose to use the tools because it
Right.
helps us to buy our time back.
I still think there's going to be a time and a place for the graphic designers, the grant proposal writers, tax professionals. I mean, ChatGPT will do your taxes
That's right.
as well as 99% of CPAs out there.
That's right.
I mean, but am I still going to have a CPA look it over? Yeah. I may just pay them for 1 hour to look it over. It may save me some money, but hey, it also makes that CPA more efficient. Now he can take on
More jobs.
40 times as many clients,
There you
you
go.
know, or whatever. I still think there's, you know, it's going to be a while before it just replaces humans. But I mean, I think about it for even like your guerrilla marketing. I mean, you can be meeting with a client and do exactly like what you said. It's like, hey, you run a chicken spot on the corner of, you know, 10th Street, whatever. Like, here's a 10th Street chicken spot logo, like right here.
That's right.
Here's your here's the sign we'll have, you know, on the corner. Boom, boom, boom. What colors you like? Whatever. You can just propose it to them right there.
That's right.
I mean, the speed, especially when it comes to business. You always just you can't. No one's trying to be slower. Jeff Bezos was in an interview and he was like, I run Amazon based off of a few fundamentals. And he's like, one of those is I don't think anybody's ever going to come to us and say, I got my package too fast and it was too inexpensive.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's
He's
right.
like, do we know exactly what the future holds? Absolutely not. But what I'm pretty sure about is that if we focus on delivering people's orders as fast as possible and we work on getting those prices as low as possible, we'll be in a good place 10 years from now.
Indeed.
Because the question, he was getting asked a question about like AI and all this stuff. It's like, can it help us get our clients their packages faster? Can it help us get products made cheaper? Then great. But it's like keeping the main thing the main thing.
That's right.
AI is just a tool that entrepreneurs and all kinds of people can implement, but keep the main thing the main thing.
That's right. That's right.
I'm trying to see if there was any other questions I needed to ask you. What if you go back in time? We'll get a little deep here. If you go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
One piece of advice.
I know it's kind of a loaded question.
Go back in time. One piece of advice. Man, it would just be, hey, look, continue to be me. Because at one point in time, when I was just getting off into business, I was doing things that I was not passionate about, you know, just doing things because it was value to other people, and it made money, but I didn't enjoy doing it. So, you know, it really did not benefit myself or my family. Okay, because long term, and I felt at the time that I wasted time, but what it did, it just built resilience, you know, and it taught me a lot of lessons that I'm using today. Okay, so although I wouldn't do things different, okay, because, you know, I wouldn't be where I am today, I don't believe, if I did things different. But I believe I would have, you know, helped to save a lot of agony, you know, if I had just stuck with the script and done things that I enjoy to do, you know, because that's what life is about. Life is about the success is not the end of the road. Success is while you're going down the road. You know, success is today, like right now. You know, you have to feel successful, like right now. You know, you don't wait until you got the RV and the kids are 60 years old. You got the, you know, the success is right now while we're living. We enjoy life right now. And so what we're doing, the type of work that we do, we need to enjoy doing what we do. And so that's it, man.
And
What about yourself?
happiness is a choice.
Indeed.
You know, if just like we have to realize success is right now, we're healthy, we're breathing.
That's right.
At some point in the future, we would give anything that we have to be back here today. And happiness is a choice along the way. I think it's kind of plays into that as well. Like, you're only as happy as you choose to be.
That's right.
I've been in really quote unquote successful times in my life and been the unhappiest I've ever been. And I've been in quote unquote like unsuccessful times in my life and been having the time of my life.
That's right.
You know, I think it's taking time to be grateful for what we've got. Celebrate the victories when we have them.
That's
because
right.
I'm really bad about that. And choosing to be happy.
That's right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I appreciate that.
The one other thing that I ask everybody, and I almost forgot to ask you, is do you have any crazy stories?
Crazy stories.
Through your entrepreneurial journey, any characters that you've met or just...
Oh my gosh. Man, how long we got?
I know.
Oh man, yeah, I deal with people.
Most people have a bunch, but then they narrow it down to like they can only share one because they're worried somebody's going to watch it and be like, I'd tell this story, but that person's going to know I'm talking about them.
Yeah, man. Like I say, man, I've just I've seen so much. Nothing surprises me anymore. You know, I know. Yeah, I've seen so much, man. It's amazing. I know, especially when with insurance. You know, insurance was with New York Life, and before New York Life, just dealing with just people. You know, because I did door to door before New York Life.
Okay.
Before New York Life, I was doing door to door, and I would say those were some of the crazy experiences, man. You just knocking on doors and people coming to the door, and you never know what you're gonna get.
Never know.
Never know what they're gonna be dressed in. You never know how they're gonna respond. So, you know, just dealing with people, you know, it's always a crazy experience, man.
With door knocking, and maybe you can echo this. What I found, because I did some door knocking in my day, especially when I was in the roofing business. You know, you just got to go out there and drum up some business sometimes, and you find that most people are really unhappy to see you. They're really not happy you're on their door. And when you run into somebody that's okay with you being there, you're like, okay, sweet. Like, maybe we can do some business together. But you find out, oh, like the reason they're happy that I'm here is because like nobody comes around.
That's right. So you're going to be here for a long time.
Right. Yeah. They're just happy to have somebody to talk to.
That's right.
And you end up being, you know, you end up doing no business, but you were able to be there for somebody for
That's right. You can be there for
an
a long
hour,
time.
and you're trying to justify it in your head. You're like, all right, well, maybe, you know, maybe I helped that person have a better day.
Yeah, right. Right. You did. But you didn't make any money.
No money. Right. Yeah. I'm going home empty handed.
That's right.
Anyways, I cut you off. I felt like you were about to share something.
Oh man, I don't, you know, like I said, it's just dealing with people, period, man, is an experience in itself. And that's what makes it fun, you know. And so, like I mentioned before, just, you know, I think what we do, we are servants. We serve others, and we are should be grateful to be compensated for serving others, man. So it's a fun time.
That's great.
Hustle on purpose.
Hustle on purpose. That's great. Yeah. Thank you, Chance, so much for coming out today. Hope y'all enjoyed listening. Hope we provided some information that helps you go provide for yourself, your family, your community, even better than before. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, share it with somebody that can benefit from it. Go check out Chance Armour on all social media. He's killing it out there, doing all kinds of cool stuff and really serving the community, which is awesome to hear. And that's all. See you next time. Hustle on purpose.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.